around a year ago, I made a video about why I transitioned from running in my barefoot shoes to running in a pair of Nikes in the build up to my first ultra marathon. The main reason for that was because, of course, barefoot shoes are better for your biomechanics and how your foot is actually structured. But I'd never run that distance before, 50 kilometers. So in order to build up the mileage, I needed more cushioning. I needed to go back to running shoes. Naturally, coming from barefoot shoes, which is zero drop, I got loads of comments saying, why don't you buy Altras? I'd never heard of the brand before, I'd never done the research. I had no clue they were a thing. And now that I'm running a 63 kilometer ultra marathon around here, Preston Docks, a 2.7k loop, I've actually bought some. So in order to complete this marathon, I got the Altra Tourin 7. And as you can see, it's a zero drop, 30mm stack height, and a very wide toe box right there. Now, all zero drop really means is there's no difference between the height of your heel and the height of your toes when you're actually in the shoe. So, for example, my Pegasus 38 have 28mm of cushioning at the heel and only 14 at the front, meaning the difference is a 10mm stack. And by raising the heel up, we don't engage the Achilles nor the calf, so it emphasizes a heel strike rather than landing on the forefoot or on the toes, on the midfoot as well. And that means more impact potentially to the knees and the hips. Whereas when you go with a flat shoe like this, a zero drop shoe, like all of the Ultras, you do emphasize more absorption with the Achilles and with the calf there. So the first time I ever put these shoes on, I was running a 10k, an easy 10k. And I remember my hamstrings and glutes were burning within 5 to 10 minutes. And for someone like me, that is a great sign. It means I'm engaging the muscles which are propelling me forward in that steady jogging pace rather than using my knees. And I was born with loose knees, loose joints in my knees. If that makes a bit more sense. So I've always damaged them, you know, running in the past and doing parkour. So I want to make sure I'm engaging muscles and especially not joints. Having a good forward lean when running is a principle massively misunderstood by a lot of beginners and novice runners. Essentially, running is just falling forward and all we're doing is catching ourselves, right? Very strange principle, I know. However, it does make sense. If you stand up and you lean forward, you naturally have to catch yourself. And when you wear shoes with a very big cushion on the heel, it emphasizes heel striking and overstriding. And what that does is it puts excess pressure on the knee. And if your foot's going so far in front of you, that's actually a stopping force. You want your foot to land underneath your body when running. And that's a very efficient biomechanical perspective on running. Now, this is not to say you can't run with good form with traditional running shoes on. You can. I do. All the professionals do from their sponsors, you know. However, it just emphasizes it. And if you're new to running, that can be a chance of injury, you know. And so while not for everyone, the Ultra definitely has benefited my running. It 100% has. I definitely stride better. I can engage my hamstrings and glutes a lot better than with a stacked, you know, a more forward-leaning shoe with a drop. It's definitely benefited me and my wide feet. From wearing barefoot shoes for the past 6 years as my daily shoe, my feet have gotten wider. Like, my toes have literally spread out more. And I find when I wear regular shoes, they squish me. And then when I'm running long distances, you know, 6 to 8 hours with these ultra marathons, in regular running shoes, I get blisters like you would not believe. And so these have definitely been better for that also. And so just for reference, these are the two shoes side by side, my Pegasus 38 and my Altra Tourin 7. And you can definitely see the difference in the overall cushioning at the back of these compared to the front and how these are a lot more even. And the biggest thing without a doubt is the toe box. Just look at how different these are. The top of these shoes definitely getting narrower towards the middle, which is more aesthetic. It is, I understand that, but with these they're more functional. Very, very similar actually to my old Vibrams here, where they're actually foot shaped. Yeah, it's an interesting comparison to really look between all of these shoes, but naturally from wearing barefoot shoes that are shaped to your feet, these suit me a lot better, you know, better for my biomechanics. That's how I want to run, it's how I want to treat my body. I want to get my feet strong as well as my legs and my cardio. You know, I don't want to just isolate them and put my feet in a cast all the time.